is going to ruin you faster than you think. You don't want people to feel entitled to you. Okay, welcome back, my loves. In today's video, I'll be sharing with you a couple of things, a couple of reasons I believe you should stop oversharing. Why oversharing is going to do a lot of harm to you than good. Okay, so if you'd like to know these reasons and also share your experiences with me in the comment section, please keep on watching. In recent times, YouTube has been suggesting a lot of oversharing. Stop oversharing, things you shouldn't overshare on YouTube to me, and it just kind of made me reflect. I watched a couple of them, but I just kept hearing people say things about, oh, don't overshare about your finances in your relationships and things like this. But I wanted to just tell you guys the reasons why you should not overshare these things. See, I used to be an oversharer, and all these things, it has done more damage to my life than good. But thank God that I'm just at a place where I'm able to just pick myself up from, the damage it has done for me and just move to the next stage of my life, right? Oversharing sometimes can come from response to things that happen in your childhood. I discovered that because I wasn't particularly heard. The moment I started to interact with people outside my family, friends to say, I began to say everything and I had no limits, literally. I began to say everything and I realized that it just let people gain access to me that they should not have, and it changed me. It changed me, I would say. I'm not blaming whatever attitude or character I have now or on anybody, but I'm saying that those things just made me long to be heard by people. It felt like these people were listening to me, where in the real sense they were not really listening to me. I was just oversharing. I was just saying everything because it now felt like this was an outlet to just say it. When you're still young and you're trying to make friends, there are people who you're just naturally drawn to them and you just want to be their friends, correct? So even if they were not interested, they would just listen to these things. And with growing up and learning new things, I began to now see different signs or different patterns where these people were actually not interested in things that I was saying, but I just didn't know when to stop. So I'm going to be sharing with you guys the reasons why you should not overshare and the damage it can do to you later on. Right? That was so long of an intro, but if you're interested in watching, please keep on watching. The first important thing is listen more. When people say be slow to speak, it sounds very easy, but in reality it's not the easiest thing to do. When somebody is talking and you're a very opinionated person, you always want to say something and you don't particularly have a lot of things to say about that topic, you tend to just want to speak and be heard instead of listening. It has to be a conscious thing, okay? You have to consciously say, I am going to listen today. I don't want to say a lot. I don't think it makes you maybe better, no. It's just you training yourself not to overshare, because if you have been used to oversharing, it's really not easy to just say, you know what, I am not going to overshare today and that's it. Nah, boo, it's not going to work like that. You have to be very conscious about it. You have to be very intentional about listening more and speaking less. That way you're grasping everything that the people or the person, so to speak, you're talking to, you're grasping everything they are saying. And you also realize that the moment you listen more, when the person says a lot of things, by the time they're like done, you really don't have a lot to contribute anymore, because everything that you wanted to say, it has probably skipped your mind, or even if it's not skipped your mind, it's not just necessary again. So you're just like, okay, you know what, I could just let that pass. And that way, gradually, you're not saying too much, you're listening more, and you're not oversharing. And even when you're listening more, maybe if you allow the person get to their point, you realize that those things you wanted to say might not be necessary. You don't want people to feel entitled to you, okay? when you share too much to people, they begin to have an unnecessary access to your life, or they feel very entitled to access to your life, which should not be. And if you don't want that, you need to find out why you're oversharing. Like I said before, is it a need to feel accepted? Is it a need to feel among? Is it a need to feel intelligent? Is it a need to feel the need to know more about you when it's not necessary? You have to think about all those things, and you just say to yourself that, see, there is absolutely no need to overshare. Nobody needs to know. Nobody's interested. Nobody is actually interested in what is going on in your life. I don't even want to go to social media. That's like a whole nother topic. But I'm talking about your personal relationships, your everyday relationships. They actually are not that interested and invested in what's going on. So stop telling people more than they actually need to know. Another way you can even help yourself is when people ask you a question, or when they ask you maybe an information, just tell them what they asked you. Do not feel the need to overstretch yourself. Again, I used to overstretch myself for people. And when I discovered that people took advantage of that, I said, you know what? No, I'm not doing this anymore. Because when people know that you can do something for them, they're going to use you and they will drain you. And because you are an oversharer, you might also tend to be a people pleaser because you want them to believe you. I don't know if that's connecting, but I'll give you an example. So I am somebody that I'm very conversant with the market. I like going to the market. It's just a thing of joy to me. I like shopping, maybe not like shopping, but I just like going to the market in Nigeria, the local market and all. And so if somebody calls me, or maybe just speaks to me, maybe not even speaks to me, if I'm in an environment, right, where people are having a discussion and somebody says something about let me look for an example. Somebody says something about, oh, I'm trying to get this lip gloss, I'm trying to start this lip gloss business, I'm trying to do da. Because I'm an oversharer and also a people pleaser, I'm quick to jump in and be like, oh really, so what do you have planned for that? Do you have where you want to shop? I know this place, I know that place, I can take you here. Nobody asked me. And now because I have shared that, it now feels like I am indebted to that person to help the person. Maybe that was not my intention. It could just be like, oh, I just wanted to let them know. But really and truly, nobody cares. Nobody asked me. I just said it. And then because of that, it now translates to me wanting to please that person, which should have not happened in the first instance. But because I was talking too much, instead of even listening to the person, because again, the person might have had like their own options, their own solutions. I just wanted to like prefer solution, jump into every conversation. It is not necessary. It's going to ruin you faster than you think. So my darlings, do not overshare, because at the end of the day, you are going to turn into being a people pleaser, which is even worse. And I dealt with both. Okay. Another way you can stop being an oversharer is avoid making or using personal examples in a general topic of discussion. Don't do it. Do not do it. It's very tempting when people are just talking about, natural things, maybe like politics, for instance, and, you grew up in a political background, and when people are trying to just say things, they're quick to be like, oh, yeah. My dad was this, my mom was that, my sister was this, my brother. Don't do it. Because that is when you start unnecessarily oversharing. Nobody asked you, but because you feel the need to prove a point at that moment, you want to use those examples so that the points can like relate very well and they can understand you very well. It's not important. It's not necessary. They don't need to know. Okay, just avoid it. Don't use personal examples. If people are talking, if there's no general example you can use of somebody, keep your mouth shut. They don't need to know. They don't even want to know. Okay, so that's another way you can help yourself from oversharing. Okay, my last and final point on oversharing is talk to yourself in the mirror. Sounds dramatic, but really and truly, if you speak to yourself in the mirror, try and practice things that you want to say to people, you will realize that there are so many things that you don't want to say that you say in the mirror, or maybe also record what you want to say in your phone. I do it a lot with YouTube. When I want to record a video and I start to like talk, I'm just like, no, I'm not supposed to say that. And in reality, if I was talking to somebody in person, I would have said all those unnecessary things first before now catching my breath, stopping myself, and now saying what I need to say. Don't just say unnecessary things. That's the whole idea of this speaking in the mirror. Look at yourself in the mirror, because as you're speaking in the mirror, you're hearing yourself. You are seeing if you're making sense. Maybe not in the mirror, speak to yourself. The moment you're speaking to yourself, you're already hearing if you're making sense or not. I think I'll give a bonus tip, and the bonus tip has to be, you know, there are some people in your life, I don't know about you, but I have those people in my life that trigger my talkativeness. And it's so funny how those people do not overshare with me. When I tell you guys, I actually sat down to think about these things, and I'm like, girl, you've been a fool for too long. You've been an idiot for too long, because I'm oversharing everything, my relationship, my finances, everything. Like, I'm bearing everything on the table, and this person or these people, they're not saying jack. And I find it so strange and weird how I never actually thought about it in the moment, that this person is so careful as to what they are saying, that I'm spilling way too much. Which is why I'm just like, you need to scrutinize your friends. But that's another video. Okay, I'm going to do another video on friendships and the things to look out for before being close to somebody, or before making somebody your close friend. I'm going to record that video for you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you learned a thing or two. If you did, please drop me a comment in the comment section. I would love to read from you. And till my next video, bye. Mwah.